Picture this. You wake up feeling refreshed, tackle your to-do list with ease, make time for exercise, and end your day with a sense of accomplishment. Sounds like a dream, right? But here's the kicker. This kind of life is not a result of one big, grand decision. It's built on the tiny, seemingly insignificant habits we repeat every day. As Gretchen Rubin explores in Better Than Before, our habits shape our lives far more than we realize. But forming the right habits? That's the tricky part. Ever promise yourself you'd wake up early, stop procrastinating, or eat healthier, only to find yourself hitting snooze, binging a new show, or knee-deep in a bag of chips? You're not alone. The problem isn't just willpower, it's understanding how habits work, why we struggle with them, and what we can do to make them stick. Today, AudiblePages is diving deep into the key lessons from Better Than Before, a book that isn't just about habits, but about understanding ourselves so we can set up systems that actually work. Get ready for a mix of psychology, real-world stories, and some much-needed humor. Because let's be real, habit change can be frustrating, but it doesn't have to be boring. Lesson 1. Know yourself. The Four Tendencies Rubin argues that self-knowledge is the foundation of habit change. If you don't know how you respond to expectations, how can you set up habits that actually stick? Enter the Four Tendencies framework, which categorizes people into 4 types based on how they handle inner and outer expectations. 1. Upholders. Love rules, schedules, and to-do lists. If they set a goal, they'll achieve it no problem. 2. Questioners. Need a logical reason for everything before committing. They won't do something just because someone says so. 3. Obligers. Easily meet external expectations but struggle with self-imposed goals. 4. Rebels. Resist both external and internal expectations. Tell them they must do something, and they'll immediately want to do the opposite. Understanding your tendency helps you tailor your habit strategy. If you're an obliger, accountability is key. Consider joining a group or hiring a coach. If you're a questioner, find logical reasons behind your habit, research benefits, and remind yourself why it matters. If you're an upholder, setting clear rules for yourself will help. And if you're a rebel, the trick is making habits feel like a personal choice rather than an obligation. This framework is crucial because what works for one person may completely fail for another. Instead of blaming yourself for failing to stick to habits, use the 4 tendencies to work with your nature, not against it. Lesson 2. The power of starting small. The strategy of first steps. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. In fact, that's a surefire way to fail. Rubin emphasizes the importance of starting small. Instead of saying, I'll run 5 miles every day, start with putting on your running shoes and stepping outside. Instead of, I'll write a novel, commit to 1 sentence a day. Why? Because small wins build momentum. Think of habits like a snowball rolling down a hill. The first push is the hardest, but once it gets going, it builds its own momentum. Take the example of someone trying to start a morning workout routine. If they aim for a 60-minute intense session right away, they might feel overwhelmed and quit. But if they start with just 5 minutes of stretching, they're much more likely to continue. Over time, 5 minutes turns into 10, 10 into 20, and soon they've built a solid habit. The brain loves consistency more than intensity, so keep it small and manageable. Lesson 3. The power of identity. Act the way you want to feel. Rubin suggests that sometimes, instead of waiting to feel motivated, we should just act like the person we want to become. Want to be a reader? Start by carrying a book everywhere. Want to be healthier? Tell yourself, I am the kind of person who prioritizes movement. Behavioral studies show that when people adopt an identity first, the habits follow. If you tell yourself, I am a writer, you're more likely to write daily. If you say, I am a healthy eater, you'll make better food choices. Your habits shape your identity, but your identity also shapes your habits. Lesson 4. The importance of cues and triggers. If you rely on sheer willpower, you're setting yourself up for failure. Instead, habits need cues. Want to drink more water? Keep a bottle at your desk. Want to floss? Put floss next to your toothbrush. Want to read more? Place a book on your pillow. Your brain links actions with triggers. If your running shoes are visible, you're more likely to work out. If your phone is out of reach, you'll scroll less. Rubin suggests making good habits obvious and bad habits inconvenient. Lesson 5. The danger of loopholes. Don't fool yourself. Rubin identifies common loopholes we use to justify breaking our habits. Tomorrow loophole. I'll start fresh on Monday. Moral licensing. I worked out, so I deserve this extra dessert. Fake self-care. I'm too stressed to work out. I'll just rest. Recognizing these loopholes is half the battle. The next time you catch yourself rationalizing, call yourself out. Instead of saying, I deserve this cheat meal, remind yourself that consistency is key. Habits only stick if you stay committed, even when you don't feel like it. Lesson 6. Accountability is everything. If you struggle to stick to a habit, external accountability can work wonders. This is why personal trainers, book clubs, and study groups exist. Knowing someone is expecting you to show up makes a huge difference. Even simple tricks work. Write your goals down, share them with a friend, or use an app that tracks progress. When we feel like someone is watching, we're more likely to follow through. Rubin emphasizes that accountability structures are crucial for obligers, but helpful for everyone. Conclusion. The habit-building formula. By now, you should have a good sense of why habits fail and what you can do to make them stick. Here's the summary. Know yourself. Identify your tendency and work with it. Start small. Focus on tiny first steps to build momentum. Act like the person you want to become. Use cues and triggers to make good habits easier. Watch out for loopholes. Don't let your brain trick you. Find accountability to keep you on track. Habits are the invisible architecture of our lives. Get them right, and everything else follows. So, what habit will you start today?